Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. National Game. I can modify the blind box probability. Chapter 41. Get rid of Zhang Yang and the other two. Shen He felt a little relieved. I thought it was coming. He didn't think that he was a match for the two first-turn players. What's more, these are two members of the Eternal Guild. Although, it's a reserve. I'm fighting the boss, but someone noticed it. I need to get the suit together quickly. Shen He sensed some sense of crisis. Now, he has a lot of equipment and skills, and he almost relies on Dragon's Wrath to support him. Of course, the main reason is that Shen He doesn't want to waste time brushing up transitional equipment. After level 40, upgrading will become extremely slow, and only level 40 equipment will begin to retain its value. After sorting out his thoughts, Shen He took a look at the shoes and equipment given by Zhang Yang. It is a level 30 purple equipment. Speedy boots. Level 30. Type, boots. Attribute bonus. Life plus 100. Movement speed plus 15%. Passive, quick step. When out of combat, the movement speed increases by an additional 15%. Equipment limit. Level 30. Equipment introduction. It is said to be a forged product that was failed by a careless blacksmith. Hey, it's not bad. It's quite generous. When out of combat, the movement speed is increased by 30%. Shen He said, glancing at the straw sandals he was wearing. It was just a level 5 white equipment, which only added 5 points of movement speed, and then there was no bonus at all. This difference is not just a tiny bit. Of course, Shen He has not yet reached level 30 and cannot equip this shoe. Moreover, Shen He actually has a lot of equipment on him. But they are all level 40 equipment dropped by Steppenwolf monsters and Steppenwolf bosses. He is already preparing to use the Grassland Guardian suit when he is 40 years old. After about an hour of trekking, Shen He cleaned up more than 100 prairie wolf monsters on the road and reached level 24. Shen He arrived at the location of the last prairie wolf boss. But, Shen He saw no trace of the prairie wolf boss. Instead, I saw a group of people resting near the boss point. The boss was killed. Shen He knew what happened without even thinking about it. This is a group of about 50 or 60 people. Just when Shen He was observing this group of people from a distance, he was also discovered by the group who were resting in place after defeating the boss. Immediately, 3 people walked out of the team. Walking towards Shen He immediately wanted to run away. But when Shen He saw one of them, he let out a light sigh. Zhang Chengqin. Shen He seemed a little surprised to meet him here. Hey, Shen He, why are you here? Zhang Chengqin also looked surprised. Especially, when he saw Shen He's level 24. We haven't seen each other for just 2 days, and we're already level 24. When we met before, wasn't it only level 10? Could it be that I am dazzled? Zhang Chengqin subconsciously rubbed his eyes, looking a little in disbelief. Zhang Chengqin, do you know him? One of Zhang Chengqin's companions tilted his head and looked at Zhang Chengqin. Yes, he is my classmate. Zhang Chengqin nodded and replied. That's it, forget it, you guys can talk, I'll go back first. The player said, turned around and left. Another player also left together. Only Shen He and Zhang Chengqin were left in the place. Why are you already level 24? Zhang Chengqin asked, expressing his surprise. Isn't this triple the experience? Shen He shrugged and answered vaguely. Fortunately, Zhang Chengqin didn't care. Suddenly, he seemed to remember something. The expression on his face became anxious. Let's go quickly. If I hadn't noticed that you looked familiar from afar this time and followed me, you would have been in trouble. Remember, run away when you look at our group. The individual players who died in our hands in the past 2 days will be in trouble. It's a small team, more than 200 people. Zhang Chengqin asked Shen He to leave quickly. Okay, bye, Shen He said slightly gratefully. Although if he hadn't seen Zhao Chengqin, he would have run away long ago. But he still accepted Zhao Chengqin's love. Looking at the back of Zhao Chengqin leaving, there are also the group of people who were resting. Shen He's eyes suddenly lit up. This. Not the perfect scapegoat. 2 people, Zhang Yang and Zhang Jiayi, are looking for a team to hunt down the prairie wolf boss. Isn't there a team that hunts the boss here? It perfectly fits the description of Zhang Yang and Zhang Jiayi, 2 Eternal Guild reserve members. As for Shenhe, he is just an ordinary level 24, cute little rookie dressed in rags. How can you have the strength to kill the steppe wolf boss? This is the thought. Shenhe quickly returned to the original route. Whether it's Zhang Yang or this adventure group, they are all competitors with Shenhe for the steppe wolf boss. If the two parties could come together. A look of expectation appeared on Shenhe's face. It would be nice if the two groups of people fought each other and died. Shenhe followed the original path and returned all the way. But before walking a few steps, Shenhe saw Zhang Yang and Zhang Jiayi walking slowly from not far away. When seeing two people, Shenhe's smile slowly disappeared. No. Are these two people always following me? No, I was always paying attention to my back. If someone was following him, he would have discovered it long ago. Unless two people are not following closely. Then it'll be fine. I have been here for several minutes, and I rushed back for a few minutes before I met the two of them. It showed that the two of them were not too close to him, but knew his location from a distance in some way. Suddenly, Shenhe stretched out his hand. He took out the walking boots from his backpack. The only locator is this. Although he didn't know how this was achieved. You're following me, Shenhe said unhappily. Seeing Shenhe holding boots and equipment in his hands, Zhang Yang and Zhang Jiayi also understood their little plan, which was fully understood by Shenhe. There was a bit of embarrassment on his face. I found the person you were looking for. I will return the things to you and I'm leaving. Shenhe threw his boots to Zhang Yang, and then quickly backed away with a wary look on his face. There is a large adventure group over there, with about 50 people. It should be the target you were looking for. As Shenhe spoke, he pointed at the location and retreated quickly. Zhang Yang and Zhang Jiayi listened to the information given by Shenhe, but they did not pursue Shenhe. This guy is smart, Zhang Yang said with a hint of approval in his eyes. Indeed, a very smart guy. Zhang Jiayi nodded in agreement after hearing this. Let's go, a team of 50 people. If we can get the points from these people, our first place should be stable. Zhang Yang licked his lips. Look at you dog-eating dog. After Shenhe left the sight of Zhang Yang and the others. Didn't choose to leave. Instead, after hanging around for a few minutes, he turned back again. He wanted to see the process of the conflict between the two parties. It's better to die together. Shenhe was daydreaming. Even though he knew it was impossible. And, purely intellectually, two first-turn players want to attack an adventure group of about 50 people. It feels like a very bullshit thing. It's just that, although it seems nonsense. But Shenhe had an inexplicable confidence in Zhang Yang and the others. I feel like two people will succeed. In the quiet grassland, a tranquility envelopes the earth. The grass swayed gently in the breeze. The two invisible assassins were like ghosts, quietly approaching the adventure group's station. Their steps were light and cautious, as if they were integrated with the grassland without making any sound. Suddenly, a slight sound spread in the air, like the rustling of the grass in the breeze. In an instant, two sentries fell down. Two strings of bright red numbers appeared above the sentry's head. -800, -665, -765, -456, -1650. The bright red damage numbers are jumping. For two tank professions with 3000 plus health, their health bars were instantly cleared. Not even a sound was made during the whole process. Complete this series of actions. The assassin's figure quickly blended into the darkness, as if they had never appeared. The grassland was quiet again, with only the breeze still gently blowing the grass, as if telling the thrilling scene just now. Several seconds later, the deaths of the two were discovered by other members of the adventure group. But at the same time, two more crispy ones fell down. This time, everyone in the adventure group saw the perpetrator. They are two extremely agile assassins. Enemy attack. Mark it. Soldiers go up and entangle it. Several orders were issued. The two assassins also knew it was time to retreat. If they didn't leave, it would be too late. Accompanied by a burst of dazzling light, everyone closed their eyes unconsciously. Wait until you open your eyes again. There were two more corpses on the ground, but the two assassins were gone. In just a few minutes, the adventure group lost 6 members. Didn't even touch anyone's hair. Don't even know who the attacker is. Zhou Jian, the leader of the adventure group, looked ashen. Is this what is called taking the head of a general in the midst of thousands of troops. Anger brewed in the crowd. And along with anger is an emotion called fear. There will be no players over level 40 in Xinsheng village. Those two people just now are only level 40. Although there are few level 40 players in the team, they are not absent. Early on, among the dozens of people, 6 were killed and they were able to retreat unharmed. Should 2 level 40 players have this terrifying ability? Are the gaps between people that big? Suddenly, a first-level assassin player in the team seemed to realize something. His expression changed instantly, even the tone of his speech changed, and he started to tremble a little. Captain, that flash skill seems to be the assassin skill monopolized by the Eternal Guild, Sunlight. The assassin player said with a pale face. It seemed that he was afraid that someone would not understand, so he continued to explain. The solar skill can only be purchased at the store in the Eternal Guild station. Although it occasionally leaks out a little bit, it occasionally appears in treasure chests, blind boxes, mystery shops and the like, but if you want to get it in batches, you can only get it in batches. Member of the Eternal Guild. The assassin player explained a few words. But it made a group of people even more scared. Eternal Guild. The main body of the guild is in the millions, and counting the various non-staff members and influence, it is definitely a force in the tens of millions. They are all composed of elite players who are the best among people. This is a behemoth standing in the wilderness. There are 6 such organizations. Even if we are members of the Eternal Guild, do we have to wait for death? Bullshit. Even if the people from the Eternal Guild have better equipment and skills than us, and even better technology than us, they are still level 40, a player who has just made a turn, and is still a fragile assassin like an assassin. How can they still be killed? The leader's temper came up. It's just 2 people. There are more than 40 people here. Are you still afraid of them? Yes, if the people who killed us dare to come close, we will all be killed. It was just when people were getting angry. 2 figures were lying behind a grass hill not far away. The fighting power of this group of people seems to be enough, but it feels like something is wrong. Zhang Yang felt something was wrong. With this configuration, there are only 2 first-level players, most of whom are level 35 players, and there are also a small number of players in their early 30s. I'm afraid it will take a long time to defeat the Steppenwolf boss, right? Why do I feel that the other 2 Steppenwolf bosses were not killed by this team? After taking care of the main force, wouldn't it be nice to capture one alive? Zhang Jiayi replied nonchalantly, turning the dagger in her hand. Okay, my skills have cooled down, let's do another wave. Zhang Jiayi said after seeing that all her skills had cooled down. Okay, come on, Zhang Yang replied. The 2 entered the stealth state again and quietly moved toward the people in the adventure group. Another direction. Shen He also lay on the ground, watching the conflict between Zhang Yang and the adventure group. So strong. Chen He couldn't help but said in admiration. Is this the reserve team of a top guild? Shen He said in admiration. Among the crowd, people can come and go freely. Skills, equipment, consciousness, and technology are all worthy of praise. While admiring, there is also a touch of happiness. Fortunately, I didn't conflict with them. I even gave the other party that very nice pair of shoes before. These 2 people are absolute masters. Shen He is definitely no match for them. In that case, Shen He's eyes flickered. I know clearly that I will never be their opponent. The gap in all aspects is too big. He is even only level 25. Although it's a bit wasteful, Dragon Explosion seems to be my only chance. I have to find a way to kill at least one first. Otherwise, I won't be able to clear monsters in the future. Shen He made up his mind. He actually understands. Zhang Yang and Zhang Jiayi were looking for the person who was secretly beating the boss. Although there is no penalty for death, Shen He can't bear to part with the triple experience area here, and the Prairie Guardian suit exploded by the Prairie Wolf boss. After getting rid of the people in the adventure group, Zhang Yang and the 2 will definitely know that there is someone else who beats the boss. I don't want to have a sword hanging over my head, so I apologize to you too. Just when Shen He was thinking about how to act, a system beep sounded in the sky. Ding, half of the sacrifice progress is completed, and there are 5,000 people left. Enter the second stage of sacrifice. If you kill other players, you can get 5% of other players' experience at this level. Huh, 5% of other players experience at this level. After hearing this message, Shenhe swallowed subconsciously. For example, a person is currently level 30 and has 20,000 experience points, but is not yet level 31. After Shenhe kills the opponent, he can gain 5% of the 20,000 experience points, which is 1,000 experience points. This is to encourage the players on Xinglo grassland to kill each other. But Shenhe was very excited. I originally hoped to reach level 39 before 12 o'clock tomorrow night. It still feels a bit hanging. But now, after having such a rule, it doesn't seem to be a big problem. After observing Zhang Yang and Zhang Jiayi, they completed another attack on the adventure group. Shenhe appeared and walked quickly towards the adventure group. Shenhe had already figured out the gaps between each time Zhang Yang and the two launched an attack if they didn't move quickly. About 5 minutes or so. This should be the time it takes to wait for the skill to cool down. Who discovered Shenhe's approach? The people in the adventure group were all like injured little animals. Seems extremely stressful. Shenhe, why are you here? Let's go quickly. When Zhang Chengqin saw Shenhe coming, he immediately rushed out and told Shenhe to leave quickly. Several attacks caused the number of adventurers to drop by more than 50%. Zhang Chengqin is very lucky and is still alive today. Now the entire adventure group is in panic. There was no way to counteract those two ghostly assassins. We could only watch them continue to harvest lives. They don't dare to run yet. Because being together can make those two people have scruples and dare to leave at the touch of a button every time. If you dare to disperse, almost all were lambs for the slaughter. Don't ask them why they know. To ask means that someone has tried it out with his or her life. This situation where we can only wait for death is so hopeless. I have a disposable item with high damage. As long as you can control it a little and give me a chance to deal damage, I can help you get rid of one. Shenhe said straight to the point. The skills of Zhang Yang and the two have cooled down and will be fine soon. Now, no time for nonsense. Okay, I'll help you create opportunities. Zhou Jian, the leader of the adventure group, is also a decisive person. Although Shenhe's behavior is very suspicious, but it was obviously one of his own, or rather, the enemy of the two Eternal Guild assassins. Now we are passive, unite all the forces that can be united. I'll be the bait. There's no assassin who doesn't know how to capture the king first before catching the thief. Zhou Jian's judgment was quite decisive. Rather than waiting for death, it is better to give it a try. The two Eternal Guild assassins also knew that he was the key. As long as he is killed, no one here can really restrict them. Ever since, Zhou Jian ignored the objections of others. One person walked out of the group. He started provoking towards the open space in front of him. What kind of rubbish is the Eternal Guild? Even if you recruit me, I won't go. They are a bunch of bullies who bully the weak and fear the strong. A burst of birdsong and the fragrance of flowers burst out of Zhou Jian's mouth. Very classic trash talk. Zhang Yang and Zhang Jiayi were hiding not far away. Although they knew that Zhou Jian was released as bait, they also knew that he was talking trash and deliberately angered them. But he still couldn't help but feel angry in his heart. How dare you slander the Eternal Guild? If they are people from other top guilds, forget it, what do these individual people count? Go ahead, kill him. A hint of coldness flashed in Zhang Jiayi's eyes. Wait, I feel like it's a scam. Zhang Yang stretched out his hand to stop Zhang Jiayi. His eyelids twitched. This is an obvious trap. Ignore him for now and continue trimming your wings. Zhang Yang proposed a steady approach. Although they are all a bunch of noobs, there is harm in large numbers. Both of them are assassins, focusing on explosive output. Although their bodies are harder than ordinary one-turn assassins, they are still squishy in nature. No, I want him to die now. Zhang Jiayi said, activated the stealth skill, and disappeared from the place. Zhang Yang had no choice but to follow along. It is still very difficult for Zhang Jiayi to defeat a one-turn warrior in seconds. Once caught, it is not easy to escape in a concentrated fire. The two of them, one on the left and one on the right, rushed towards Zhou Jian, who was far away from the crowd. Zhou Jian was far away from the crowd, and it would take time for those in the adventure group to support him. This was enough time for them to finish the kill and then escape. Bass. A bit of cold light stabbed towards Zhou Jian, followed immediately by another bit of cold light. Attack from both front and rear directions. Gouge. Hit from behind, causing damage equal to 150% of attack power, and causing a stun effect for 1 second. Zhou Jian never expected that he would be attacked at this time. A little late, I was immediately controlled by dizziness. Next is -680, -879, -1240, -1280. Several bright red numbers popped up from above his head. In an instant, his health bar was cleared. But Zhou Jian did not fall. The last trace of blood was firmly locked. Even after being injured several times, this trace of blood was not wiped out. Roar! Zhou Jian roared. A shock wave dispersed indiscriminately towards the surroundings. Zhang Yang and Zhang Jiayi both acted in perfect harmony and were extremely skillful. The two figures disappeared instantly. Let Zhou Jian's counterattack fail. It was directly blocked by the invincible frame. The next moment, boom, there was a crisp sound. A mark on Zhou Jian's head exploded. Another injury appeared on Zhou Jian's head. -560. This injury completely emptied Zhou Jian's health bar. 2 pieces of purple equipment flew out from Zhou Jian's body. This is the moment Shen He has been waiting for. Although Zhou Jian and the two could not be seen with the eyes. But Shen He was very sure that there was at least one person's location. Because one of the dropped objects flying out from Zhou Zhangjian disappeared out of thin air. You don't need to guess to know that someone has caught you. As for who grabbed the gear, buzz. The dragon-shaped badge in his hand suddenly inspired an extremely thick energy beam. It was launched towards the deserted open space. Dragon blast. Boom. A figure was directly blasted out of invisibility by the dragon blast. -25,000. A terrifying bright red number emerged from the figure. The 25,000 injuries made everyone present widen their eyes. Snatch the young master. 25,000 points of damage. Didn't I see it wrong? Zhang Jiayi's figure was blasted away by Shen He. 2 items, 1 purple and 1 gold, spilled out of her body. A stream of light flew out of her body, came to Shen He's side, and penetrated into Shen He's body. The terrifying experience flow instantly filled Shen He's experience tank. Let Shen He be upgraded. But it's not over yet. A new experience tank was filled once again. That's all. Shen He's body immediately lit up with upgraded golden light 3 times in a row. Ding, you have been upgraded to LV26. Ding, you have been upgraded to LV27. Ding, you have been upgraded to LV28. Shen He was promoted 3 levels in a row. As expected of a level 40 player, the experience points on his body are simply terrifying. With just 5% of the experience of this level, Shen He was promoted from level 25 to level 28. Zhang Yang's eyes are about to burst. But he didn't dare to stop for a moment and fled towards the distance. The damage figure of 25,000 points is really outrageous. As a result, Shen He was in full view of the public. After picking up the 2 items dropped by Zhang Jiayi, only then did some people slowly wake up from the shock. There were still 20 or 30 people left, but none of them dared to stop Shen He. Shen He was allowed to pick up the 2 dropped objects. Then leave. Zhang Chenkin, you said, this is your classmate. A person carefully poked Zhang Chenkin. Asked. Yeah, right. Zhang Chenkin answered instinctively. The whole person is still in a state of trance and confusion. As this sunken river. As Shen He left, the dozens of people left in the nearby adventure group all looked like they were surviving the disaster. Almost everyone feels this way. I encountered a fight with a god. This is it. Fortunately, no one followed. Shen He checked behind him and saw that there were no pursuers, and he felt much happier. He was actually very scared and couldn't leave by himself. Zhang Yang was frightened by the damage caused by the dragon blast and ran away without looking back. But it wasn't Zhang Yang that Shen He was afraid of, but the dozens of people in the adventure group. He doesn't have the ability to come and go freely among dozens of people like Zhang Yang. Fortunately, Zhou Jian was killed by Zhang Yang and the others, otherwise Shen He would have killed Zhang Jiayi. Let alone pick up the things Zhang Jiayi dropped, you might not be able to escape if you run immediately. Don't think of Zhou Jian as an NPC. People with unknown origins like Shen He are also threats in his eyes. After solving the trouble between Zhang Yang and the two, Shen He will also be regarded as an enemy. Anyway, the result is good. Chen He happily came to a deserted place. Began to examine the spoils of his operation. As expected of a member of the Eternal Guild. Really rich. 1 gold item, 1 purple item, and 2 items dropped. Shen He grabbed the purple item first. This is a helmet. It is what Shen He needs, a component of the Grassland Guardian suit. Grassland Guardian, Helm, Level 40, Type, Helmet. Attribute bonus, Defense plus 80, Magic Resistance plus 50, Life plus 800, Crit Damage plus 10%. Passive, Hero's Heart, immune to primary mental control skills, and has certain resistance to intermediate mental control skills. 2-piece set, Life plus 200. 4-piece set, the Shelter of the Grassland passively returns blood, change to 1% of own blood volume plus 20. 6-piece set, 1 Grassland Shelter passive, which can also take effect in non-grassland environments, 220% injury-free. Equipment restrictions. Level 40, Warrior or Tank Profession. Equipment introduction. Holy objects grown from the grassland will be given to a favored person. The fourth one. After reading the attributes, Shen He couldn't help but raise the corners of his mouth. Now, there are only 2 parts left, a weapon and a shoe part. Assemble this 4th piece. Shen He took out the golden object that fell from Zhang Jiayi's body. This is a piece of paper. When Shen He saw the contents of the item clearly, his hands shook. Proof of Ling Zhifu's job transfer. After using it, Ling Zhifu's job transfer will be enabled. After completing the trial, you can get the sub-job, Ling Zhifu. Note: only senior farmers or senior botanists can initiate job transfer. Hidden sub-career transfer items. Shen He almost lost his grip and let the prop slip out of his hand. Originally, the productive things of the sub-profession had a price but no market. Hidden sub-careers are even more valuable. It's just that this prerequisite for job transfer is a bit outrageous. Shen He quickly woke up from his joy. Advanced farmers or botanists are needed. This is not an easy condition to achieve. Chen He's mother, Yang Lucian, was already at level 79 and was stuck before the second turn. I have been a player for 8 years. Now there are only a few middle-level farmers. Go to Baiyun town later and give it to your mother. Shen He quickly decided on the ownership of this job change item. Think of it as a birthday gift to your mother. Everything has been settled. No one knows where to go except Zhang Yang. The area was too dangerous, so Shen He ran a long distance before continuing to slowly spawn monsters. It was getting dark gradually. Shen He's level also steadily improved, until it was nearly the end of the month. Shen He's level has also reached level 31. This level seems very normal on the level 30 to level 40 map of Xinglo Plain. It will not be as eye-catching as before when there were only 10 or 20 levels. Yawn. After getting rid of a level 36 step wolf, Shen He let out a long yawn. I spent more than 10 hours hunting monsters today and I am so tired. It's almost done, log off. Shen He took one last look at the unlocking progress of Wolf's Key. 878 1,000ths. There are only more than 100 prairie wolves left to complete the unlocking of the Wolf Key. At that time, he can switch to the Dog's Immortality blind box. By the way, why is the dog in the wolf's treasure? Shen He complained. He came to a big tree and used a spider web launcher to build a simple temporary residence on the tree. Then hide in the tree. If you were unlucky enough to be discovered when you were offline, you would be killed. Then he can only be considered unlucky. Okay, log off and go to sleep. Shen He shouted out the logout interface. Shen He took off the helmet on his head on the bed. I got out of bed and moved my body, which had been stiff all day. If I'm lucky, I might be able to reach level 40 tomorrow. I have to hurry up and take out the remaining 2 Grassland Guardian suits, as well as the Wolf Key. Shen He was thinking about plans for tomorrow. While walking to the refrigerator, I found a bottle of nutrient solution and drank it. Then, go back to bed and sleep. A new day, early morning. Shen He jumped down from the tree. I took a breath of fresh air and stretched out a lot. Today's goal is level 39. Shen He made a plan for himself for the new day. There are still more than 100 prairie wolves left to unlock Wolf Key. Let's go to the prairie wolf grave and farm the remaining 100 wolves. The prairie wolf boss that the group of people in Bloody Sky Forest refreshed before should be refreshed. The other prairie wolf bosses have not been refreshed yet. Let's take a short detour and kill the refreshed prairie wolf boss. I hope they haven't been refreshed yet. Get there first. Shen He finalized the plan and started taking action. Look for the prairie wolf that was attacked by the group of people in Bloody Tea Online before. Don't even think about golden items. It seems that they will only appear in the first explosion of a certain boss. Monsters like Steppe Wolf that were almost exploded by Shen He were almost impossible to explode. Of course, Shen He's purpose is just to obtain the purple quality Grassland Guardian suit. When Shen He came near the Steppe Wolf boss, it was discovered that the Prairie Wolf boss had been beaten. No wonder, it's a pity. Shen He shrugged regretfully. This boss has been refreshed for a long time. Being killed is not surprising at all. Without defeating the boss, Shen He could only continue walking towards the Prairie Wolf tomb. Continue to fight monsters on the road. Today's Xinglo Plain map gives Shen He a very empty feeling. People became very sparse. Yesterday I occasionally saw other people spawning monsters or passing by, but today I walked for a long time without seeing a single living person. While casually opening the sacrifice progress. Number of people remaining. 2,308 10,000ths. Number of dead creatures. 30,123 100,000ths. Good guy, yesterday afternoon, there were still 5,000 people left, and now there are not even half of them. Shen He looked extremely stunned. It's because of the addition of an experience buff that can be plundered. It's not even 24 hours yet. Player number 2,700 died. Already more than halfway. At this rate, we have to hurry up. It feels like it will only take a day or two to complete the sacrifice. The few people left reminded Shen He to speed up the progress. Shen He came all the way to the Prairie Wolf tomb, near this special building. The monsters he cleaned up along the way allowed Shen He to upgrade to level 32. The number of mobs is enough for Shen He to complete the unsealing of Wolf's Key. Wolf's Key, the key used to enter the Wolf Tomb. After using it near the Wolf Tomb building, you can enter the Wolf Tomb. Number of uses, 1/1. When Shen He arrived near the Wolf Tomb on the prairie, he was startled by the sight in front of him. Why, there are so many people. Shen He looked a little surprised. At this moment, there were at least several hundred people near the Prairie Wolf Tomb. There are 3 teams of about 40 or 50 people, and 4 teams of about 30 people. Zhao Chenkin's team is here. There are some scattered people here and there. What's going on? Shen He couldn't figure out why so many people gathered around the Grassland Wolf grave. Err on the side of caution. Shen He made a special circle. From a direction with only a few scattered people, we approached the Prairie Wolf tomb. It wasn't until Shen He came near the Grassland Wolf grave that he knew why. Ding, the Prairie Wolf tomb has changed. It requires 8 players holding that Wolf Key to open it. Ding, your item, Wolf's Key, within the range of the Wolf Tomb, has gained a new attribute, 100% dropped after death. The moment Shen He entered the range of the Wolf Tomb on the prairie, a system beep sounded in the sky. Ding, the number of Wolf Keys within the range reaches 8. Those holding the keys can open the underground layer of the Prairie Wolf Tomb. The sound of the system made everyone present excited. It also made Shen He suddenly excited. Because, he discovered. The people around him looked at him in unison. Fortunately, Shen He chose a direction full of sand people, and there were only 7 or 8 sand people around. Moreover, these individual people also maintain a certain distance from each other. This also gave Shen He a chance. Almost without thinking, Shen He glanced at the Prairie Wolf Tomb, which was at least 200 meters away from him. It is simply unrealistic to rush over. With his own movement speed, he could only take a few steps before he would be overtaken. So, a touch of anger appeared in Shen He's eyes. The only way is to kill the chicken to scare the monkey. Take the initiative to gain the upper hand. The tassel of red flame appeared in Shen He's hand. Without hesitation, Shen He shot the person next to him. -35. A 2-digit number appeared from the head of the player next to him. The health of the players next to him dropped only a little. The man next to him didn't expect Shen He to act so decisively. However, when Shen He made such a move, he basically stated that he was the 8th owner of the Wolf's Key. The man was furious and slashed at Shenhe with his knife. But it hit Shenhe's gun barrel. Block and counterattack. The second shot struck the man. The damage is neither painful nor itchy, but the insult is a bit strong. One shot hit the door directly. Shenhe quickly drew his gun and attacked again. -35. Kind of ridiculous double-digit damage popping up over the man's head. Are you here to scrape me? The man said with a sneer. Then, he saw that Shenhe's red flame tassel weapon was wrapped in a dazzling golden color. -3200. A terrifying bright red number appeared from the man's head. The man's health bar was instantly cleared. The body also slowly fell down. The bright red damage of 3200 caused the movements of several people around who had been rushing towards Shenhe to stop abruptly. When he realized that he was caught by Shenhe's eyes, he smiled awkwardly. Turn around and leave silently. Depend on 3200 points of damage. Is this something a person can afford? Several people who were close to Shenhe retreated silently and left. Seeing that he had successfully shocked the scattered people around him, Shenhe also knew that this kind of shock would not last long. The people around him were only temporarily frightened by the large numbers of Dragon Fury's passive. If you have time to calm down and think carefully, it's easy to spot the clues of Shenhe's injuries. Shenhe hit 3 very low damage normal attacks before triggering this damage. While the scattered people around him were frightened, Shenhe tried his best to control his pace so that it didn't look like he was running away. We arrived at the Prairie Wolf Tomb. Ding, do you want to consume a Wolf's Key to enter the Grassland Wolf Grave, the underground level? The system's beep sounded in Shenhe's ears. Yes. Shenhe thought silently in his heart. The next moment, Shenhe felt the world spinning. When he regains consciousness again, he found himself in a dark space. A huge wolf, at least bigger than the Prairie Wolf boss, with a white body, appeared in front of Shenhe. The White Wolf boss lay quietly on the ground with his eyes closed tightly, as if he was sleeping. Ding, welcome to Prairie Wolf Tomb, the underground level. If you stay alive for 3 minutes before guarding the boss, you will be eligible to enter the next level. If you die in battle, you can still get one of the original 3 rewards. As the last word of the system prompt tone falls, Boss White Wolf's ears moved slightly, as if he noticed something. It slowly opened its eyes, revealing a kind of alertness and majesty. As its eyes opened, its mouth opened slightly, revealing sharp teeth and exuding a faint breath. I hope there won't be a blood-locking mechanism. Shenhe prayed in his heart. Now, he does not have the ability to face high-level monsters with blood-locking mechanisms alone. White Wolf LV-50 boss. Being watched by the giant White Wolf boss. Shenhe felt uncertain for a while. The blood-locking mechanism is not a very clever one. Many monsters have it, and Shenhe really wants to go to the forum to check the data on this kind of White Wolf boss. If it can be found. Roar, the White Wolf boss roared. The body was like a cannonball, hitting Shenhe. Shenhe had no other means. A dragon-shaped badge appeared in Shenhe's hand. There should be no special mechanisms like blood locking. Dragon Blast. Shenhe activated the active skill of Dragon's Wrath. Moment. A thick beam of light spurted out from the spell, like a giant dragon rising into the sky. The beam of light slammed into the White Wolf boss with a devastating momentum. The White Wolf boss felt this powerful energy and tried to escape, but it was too late. The energy beam was like a giant hammer, flying it away violently. Its body drew an arc in the air, and then fell heavily to the ground. Dust was flying on the ground. The White Wolf boss struggled to stand up, but its health bar had been cleared. -32,000. A terrifying damage number appeared from the head of the White Wolf boss. This is also the largest damage number Shenhe has ever seen. The White Wolf boss, which had no bloodlock or special mechanism, was instantly killed by Shenhe. Ding, you have to defeat the White Wolf boss within 30 seconds. Ding, please choose one of the following 3 items as a reward. 1. Time card 1 year. 2. A privilege on the 2nd level of the level. 3. Grassland Guardian set optional gift box. 3 options appeared in front of Shenhe. Is there still a choice? Shenhe chose the last one without even thinking about it. Although the time card is important, it is actually not very important to Shenhe. A privilege on the next level is actually very tempting, but compared to the box of the self-selected Prairie Guardian suit, Shenhe thinks that the self-selected set is better. Choice 3, package of your choice. Shenhe gave his choice. Ding, you get the Grassland Guardian set gift box of your choice. There was a system beep and a gift box appeared in Shenhe's backpack. After Shenhe finished choosing the reward, a vortex gate like a black hole appeared in front of Shenhe. Now, there is only one kit left. If shoes come out in the future, I will choose the weapon. If the weapon comes out, I will choose the shoes. Shenhe was calculating while looking at the whirlpool in front of him. If nothing else, this is the entrance to the next level. Sure enough, when Shenhe stretched out his hand and touched the whirlpool, immediately I felt a suction. Ding, would you like to enter the next level immediately? The system prompt sounded in Shenhe's ears. Yes, Shenhe replied. Immediately afterwards, there was a somewhat familiar feeling of dizziness. Wait until Shenhe opens his eyes again. He found himself sitting at a round table. There were 8 chairs evenly placed next to the table, and he was sitting on one of them. Shenhe wanted to stand up, but found that he couldn't stand up at all. He was restrained to the chair by a force. Ding, the other players haven't arrived yet, please wait patiently. After all the players arrive or fail, the second level of the level officially begins. The system's voice answered the questions in Shenhe's heart. Second floor. It doesn't look like a combat-type level. Outside world. Shenhe's intrusion actually didn't cause much commotion. Just a lucky guy. Now that everyone is here, let's get started. A man dressed in purple with 2 pieces of golden equipment waved his hand. Came out of the team. Almost at the same time, 5 other people also walked out from different teams. The 6 people nodded to each other, then activated the keys one by one and entered the Prairie Wolf tomb. The reason why there are so many people here is that most of them are from these 6 teams. Some other individuals and small teams are following the trend to see if they can get some benefits. After the 6 heads entered the Prairie Wolf tomb, these large groups suddenly started to move. Started to attack those 3 people and small teams indiscriminately. The number of survivors on the Starfall Plains map dropped by 1 to 200 in a short period of time. In the middle of this chaotic battle, a strong and agile assassin quietly appeared. He shuttled between the battlefields like a ghost, but did not attract anyone's attention. Cleverly exploiting his surroundings and his enemies' blind spots, the assassin approached the Steppe Wolf tomb in a stunning manner. His steps were light and swift, as if he were one with the wind. When he finally arrived at the wolf's grave, he carefully stretched out his hand and touched the wolf's grave gently. At that moment, his figure gradually emerged, but the people around him were still immersed in the fierce battle and did not notice his existence. If Shenhe were here, he would definitely recognize him. Isn't this a preliminary member of the Eternal Guild, Zhang Yang? He actually also has a wolf key. Zhang Yang's figure disappeared, and the Prairie Wolf tomb was also closed. All 8 people who held the wolf key entered the Prairie Wolf tomb. In a dark space, Shenhe waited boredly for the others to arrive. If you are bored, you can only open the forum. Because I am in a special environment and cannot contact the outside world in any way, I can only browse posts, like and comment, etc., which is not possible. Shenhe first searched for the White Wolf boss. Not surprisingly, this boss cannot be found online. It can't be said that he couldn't find it. What he found was another level 100 White Wolf boss. It was obviously not the one he just killed. It's so boring. Someone come quickly. Shenhe lay down on the table and closed the forum. Then, he opened his own property bar. To be honest, his current attributes, just at level 32, can be said to be not ordinary shabby. Level 32, 68%. Occupation, none. Property, attack power, 425, 5 points of basic attack power. Physical penetration, 20. Defense, 200. Spirit, 10. Basic spirit 10. Magic resistance, 256. Life, 470 470ths. Moving speed, 105%. Crit rate, 0%. Crit damage, 0%. Skill, Meditation LV1. Basic skill, meditation for 1 minute can restore 10 points of life and gain 10 points of experience. Basic life enhancement passive maximum health value plus 100. Block and counterattack passive skill, make a blocking action. Successful blocking can reduce the damage received by 30%, and automatically carry out a counterattack. Equipment: Dragon's Wrath, Red Flame Tassel, Straw Shoes, Shell Lands, Hand-Knitted Sweater, Thorn Gauntlet, Spider Web Launcher. There was not a single piece of equipment above level 10 in his whole body. It is not an exaggeration to say that he is dressed in beggar's clothes. If it weren't for the Dragon's Wrath, Shen He would have been able to beat players of the same level just like Gua Sha. Hurry up and get to level 40. Put on a level 40 purple suit. My attributes can at least be doubled several times. Shen He really couldn't wait to reach level 40 right now. The equipment I have now is too shabby. In fact, he could spend time and buy himself a set of excessive equipment. However, Shen He didn't want to spend time getting stuck on transitional equipment. It's not necessary. He wanted to directly obtain a set of level 40 equipment that could be used for a long time. That's when Shen He had nothing to do but hang out on the forum. In the space, a light suddenly flashed. A man appeared on the seat next to Shen He. It's you. When the visitor saw Shen He sitting nearby, he could not restrain the murderous intention in his heart. Almost immediately, he wanted to take action against Shen He. But soon he discovered that he couldn't move at all. Can only sit on a chair. What a coincidence. Shen He was also a little surprised, and then said hello to the man beside him calmly. This person is no one else. It was Zhang Yang, an old acquaintance. In another place, Shen He might run away immediately. Zhang Yang is an assassin, the kind with an invincible frame. As long as he blocks his Dragon Blast ultimate move, he will be gone. Moreover, in terms of skills, combat experience, etc., compared to Zhang Yang, Shen He was not even a bit inferior. He seriously doubted that Zhang Yang was Lian Jiazi in reality. But now, Shen He didn't seem to panic at all. You can hit me if you can. After several attempts, he was unable to attack Shen He, and Zhang Yang gradually regained his composure. He stopped making unnecessary movements and just looked at Shen He with a gloomy expression. Shen He was naturally unfazed and looked back at each other. When he reaches level 40, he won't be afraid to change his equipment. The two looked at each other for a long time. Zhang Yang finally spoke. I know the content of the next second level. As long as you help me, I will pretend that what happened before has never happened. Zhang Yang exhaled heavily and said. You know the content. Shen He's eyes suddenly lit up. Then he quickly understood that 80% of the rewards Zhang Yang chose on the first level were information about the second level. Let me make it clear first, I don't need your forgiveness. Shen He added. He doesn't need to forgive this kind of thing. From beginning to end, he has done nothing wrong. No one needs to ask for forgiveness. You, good. Zhang Yang suppressed the anger in his heart. Let's start talking about the next game content. Next, there will be a game called 1-8. All participants will draw a number from 1 to 8, if all 8 people have completed the first level of tasks. Everyone can check the number of any other player in each round, and then vote. The person with the most votes will be eliminated, and the cycle will continue until there is only the last person left. And no one is allowed to abandon their votes. If more than one person gets the most votes, the people with the most votes will have a duel. The content of the duel will be determined by the system, and the loser will be eliminated. Zhang Yang first told Shen He about the content of the next game. After letting Shen He digest it for about 10 seconds. Then he continued to tell. What you need to do is exchange information with me at the beginning of the first round. I will tell you your number, and you will tell me my number, how about it? Zhang Yang said. Do you tell each other your number? It sounds like a good idea. As long as you know your number, you can avoid accidentally hurting yourself during the next vote. Good. Shen He agreed. He had no reason to refuse this kind of cooperation. Moreover, he actually knew why Zhang Yang asked him to cooperate. Because this kind of thing must never be known to a third person. Otherwise, those who form an alliance will be jointly targeted by others. Therefore, Zhang Yang could only form a secret alliance with Shen He. After agreeing on the secret code, Shen He began to carefully taste the rules of the game mentioned by Zhang Yang. The rules are actually very simple. That is, each person has a chance to check one other person's number once a day, and then votes to eliminate it. But Shen He always felt that Zhang Yang was definitely hiding something fishy. Suppose 8 people start the game, watch one person in each round, and eliminate one person. Ideally, you would know your number before the 4th round of voting starts. Shenhe felt his mind was a little confused. This rule doesn't seem complicated, but there are too many situations. Etc. Suddenly a bright light flashed in Shenhe's mind. He suddenly realized that Zhang Yang had several possible purposes. 1. Zhang Yang had no intention of telling him his number and would tell him a fake number. 2. Zhang Yang will tell him the real number. If there is no luck, the two will enter the final round, but Zhang Yang is confident that he will defeat Shenhe. He wants Shenhe to be the opponent in the last round more than other unknown opponents. Then let's see who among us is more skilled. Not long after Zhang Yang appeared, 5 more people appeared on the chairs one after another. Without exception, these people are all level 41st turn players. Same as Zhang Yang, everyone's body is exuding a large amount of purple light. At this time, Shenhe was a level 32 player who was dressed in colorful clothes and didn't even have all the equipment. It seems particularly eye-catching. Basically everyone who comes in will look at Shenhe emphatically. When the 7th person appears, the whole space suddenly lit up. Ding! All participants are here, the second level of trial will begin now. The content of the second layer is 1 to 7. The system prompt sounds. The rules were announced. It is almost the same as what Zhang Yang said before. There are only some differences in expressions, everything else is the same. The game has officially started and the numbers are being distributed randomly. As the sound of the system falls, everyone feels that there is something extra in their bodies. Ding! You have the permission to see other people's digital symbols once, please choose the person to observe. Shenhe's eyes looked around the circle of people. In this game, he has no confidence at all, even if he has colluded with Zhang Yang. But in fact, he still didn't believe in Zhang Yang. Observe the flamboyant numbers, Shenhe said silently in his heart. As Shenhe activated his authority, a number immediately appeared above Zhang Yang's head. 4. The number on Zhang Yang's head is 4. It was at this time. Zhang Yang and Shenhe looked at each other. What is this code for? They both started blinking their left eyes at the same time. The number of times the left eye blinks represents the number. Zhang Yang blinked twice quickly. 2. The message Zhang Yang gave him was 2. Shenhe was still blinking. But suddenly, an idea emerged in Shenhe's heart. He just blinked twice. Then he stopped blinking. Both of them were stunned, and the next moment, Shenhe's expression became angry. It seemed that after being fooled, he became angry and embarrassed. Such a scene was naturally visible to Zhang Yang. Immediately, his face showed an expression of overjoyed. Then, he looked at Shenhe with a mocking expression, as if to say, "Idiot. When acting, you have to do the whole thing." Shenhe now looked like he was gnashing his teeth. But the bottom of my heart has already begun to make calculations. Although now, I can't be sure what the number on my body is. But at least 2 answers have been ruled out. 4 and 2 can be regarded as gains. Moreover, it seems that Zhang Yang was led astray, making him think that he was 2. Overall, not a loss. Since you believe you are number 2, let me confirm it for you. After thinking about it, Shenhe determined the voting options for the first round. Ding! Everyone's observation is over. Please vote within 30 seconds. If you exceed the deadline, you will be eliminated directly. Voting officially begins. This is the first round, and basically not much useful information has been obtained. This round is not much different from blind betting. The 30-second countdown is over. The system announced the results of this round of voting. Ding! The results of this round of voting. Number 1 vote. Number 2 1 vote. Number 3 0 votes. Number 4 1 vote. 1 vote on the 5th. 3 votes on the 6th. Number 7, 0 votes. Quote, ding, player number 6 has the most votes, and player number 6 is eliminated. The system issued a judgment. A player sitting diagonally across from Shenhe disappeared instantly. This unlucky guy. In the first round of almost blind voting, I got 3 votes. There is no one left. He is truly the ultimate unlucky guy. Now, there are 6 people left on the field. Ding, the first round is over and the second round begins. You get a chance to observe the numbers of the remaining people. The system voice sounded. Shen He was not in a hurry to use his observation authority at this time. Instead, he lowered his head and started thinking. Number 6 just died too. The possibility that he himself is number 6 has been ruled out. Plus the previously excluded number 2 and no. 4. Now, there are only 4 possibilities left, number 1, number 3, number 5 and no. 7. High probability, it's not number 3 or no. 7. Shen He's brain was working rapidly. He was 90% sure that Zhang Yang would be in the first round. The person who voted must be him. But the two numbers, 3 and 7, have not been voted by anyone. In other words, am I number 1 or no? 5. Shen He muttered to himself. This round, he also has a chance to check other people's numbers. If you can see the number 1 or the number 5, he is another person. It's a pity, choose 1 from 6, the probability is a bit small. Ding, please make your choice as soon as possible. You still have 15 seconds. If the time expires and you still have not made a choice, you will be directly eliminated. The system's urging forced Shen He to choose one at random. He chose the man sitting at the table next to him. No. 3. The man sitting next to me is number 3. Although I haven't finally determined what number I am, it can corroborate my previous guess that neither number 3 nor number 7 is me. The observation phase is over. Next is the voting stage. This round, Shen He was going to make a move. Zhang Yang thought he was number 2, but in fact, he was number 4. In the last round, Shen He voted no. 2. He was just afraid that no one would vote for number 2 and attract Zhang Yang's attention. This round, you can take off your disguise. It's time for the second round of voting. Now, everyone knows at least 2 people's numbers. The round of observations just now. Zhang Yang also learned a new number and the corresponding owner. Neither Shen He nor Zhang Yang were number 2, nor was the eliminated number 6. Among the 4 remaining people, there must be a number 2. Zhang Yang has a 1/4 chance of knowing that Shen He lied to him. If you don't take action this round, in the next round, maybe Zhang Yang will know that Shen He deceived him on purpose. Ding, everyone's observation is over. Please vote within 30 seconds. If you exceed the deadline, you will be eliminated directly. Voting officially begins. Now comes the second round of voting. The 30-second countdown is over. The system announced the results of this round of voting. Ding, the results of this round of voting. No 10 votes. Number 2 2 votes. Number 3 0 votes. Number 4 2 votes. 1 vote on the 5th. Number 6 1 vote. Quote, ding, number 2 and number 4 have the most votes, the 2 players will have a duel, and the loser will be eliminated. The system issued a judgment. Immediately, there were 2 rays of light. It shined on Zhang Yang and another player. This is a female mage wearing an ice blue robe. The numbers on the 2 people were also illuminated under the bright light. Female mage, number 2, Zhang Yang, number 4. When Zhang Yang saw his number, he was stunned. Then he turned his head suddenly and stared at Shen He with his eyes. It seemed as if Shen He was going to be eaten alive. He's actually not number 2. A huge box suddenly fell from the sky. It landed on the table among several people. Please duelist, draw the duel items. The system voice sounded. All smoke it. Zhang Yang's voice was full of resentment. His mentality was already a bit broken by Shen He. He always thought that he was number 2. Unexpectedly, I am actually number 4. If it weren't for number 2, he would also have received 2 votes. This round, he will be eliminated directly. Please. The female mage said in a steady voice. Her voice sounds a bit neutral, but it has some indescribable magnetism. The other 4 people, including Shen He, did not speak. Just quietly watching Zhang Yang and the female mage perform. Because of the female mage's concession, Zhang Yang obtained the permission to extract, although it was of little use. Zhang Yang put his hand into the box, pulled out a red gashapon. He subconsciously reached out and opened it. A note jumped out from the gashapon. There were 2 big bright red characters written on the paper. Duel. Immediately, 2 more light pillars appeared. Zhang Yang and the female mage were enveloped in the beam of light. It makes people unable to see what is happening in the beam of light. Wait until the light beam disappears. Zhang Yang and the female mage also disappeared. At the same time, a big screen appeared in front of the remaining 4 people. In the middle of the screen is a circular arena. Zhang Yang and the female mage were about 20 meters apart, standing opposite each other. Right above the big screen is a 15-second countdown. Next, those who win the battle can return to the game, while those who lose will be eliminated. The battle between Zhang Yang and the female mage is about to begin. The system did not leave the few people watching the battle idle. Everyone can participate in the prize-winning guessing game. Those who guess correctly can get some information on the next level. Those who guess wrong will be eliminated directly. The sound of the system rang in the ears of Shenhe and others. Shenhe thought for a while and did not vote. If you guess wrong, the penalty for direct elimination is too severe. The battle begins. This is classic assassin slicing battle. When the battle began, Zhang Yang directly entered a state of stealth. When an assassin fights a mage, he must be very restrained. One player said. Zhang Yang approached the mage quietly like a ghost. The sharp dagger in his hand shone with cold light, like the sickle of death. At this critical moment, a powerful cold wave suddenly burst out from the mage's body, instantly freezing him in the hard ice, forming an insurmountable barrier. Frost fell like snowflakes, hitting the assassin with a biting chill. "Hey, there is actually Ninghua," a somewhat surprised voice sounded. Condensation, a mage's magical skill, commonly known as refrigerator, instantly freezes oneself. During the freezing period, one is immune to all damage and control. And it will cause ice attribute attached deceleration within 1 meter of the surrounding area. It lasts for 1 second at most. Once the action is taken, the sublimation state will be released immediately. A trace of shock flashed through Zhang Yang's eyes, but he quickly recovered and tried to break the ice with a dagger. However, the mage's ice shield is indestructible, and every attack from the assassin can only leave shallow traces on the ice. Ninghua. Zhang Yang naturally also knows this skill. Ninghua's status among mages is almost equivalent to the status of powerful stealth skills among assassins. Collapse. The ice cube disappears. 2 fire snakes shot towards Zhang Yang. Zhang Yang's body is still attached to the deceleration effect at this moment, and the distance is so close that it is impossible to avoid it. Bite. Zhang Yang's body disappeared instantly, along with a fire snake that was about to hit him. Use the invincible frame to block part of the damage. But another fire snake still bumped into Zhang Yang. He knocked Zhang Yang out of his invisibility. -876. A bright red number emerged from Zhang Yang's head. There is less than half of the health bar left. At this time, the female mage raised her hand again. The 2 fire snakes were summoned again. A trace of panic finally appeared on Zhang Yang's face. The next moment, a bright light suddenly lit up from Zhang Yang's body. This bright light made the female mage subconsciously close her eyes. Even the few people watching the battle were not spared, and their eyes were shaken. If not in an arena environment, Zhang Yang actually has many choices. For example, retreat temporarily and wait for the opportunity. The cooldown time of Ninghua is a full 2 minutes, and the stealth time is only 1 minute. You can kill it while stuck on the CD. But in an environment with limited space like the arena, retreating means waiting to die. Only, take chestnuts from the fire. Zhang Yang advanced instead of retreating and came to the side of the female mage. Dagger down. The next second, the outcome is decided. Ding. Player number 2 wins, player number 4 is eliminated. With a flash of light, the female mage appeared in her original seat. Zhang Yang, lost. Shenhe seemed a little incredible. Zhang Yang is a reserve member of the Eternal Guild. Did you lose just like that? Along with surprise, there was also a strong sense of joy. Thank you. Fortunately, he sought stability before and did not choose to gamble on Zhang Yang's victory. Otherwise, he would probably be eliminated like the other 3 unlucky guys. That's right, when the female mage player number 2 wins. The 3 men disappeared. Ding, players number 3, 5, and 7 who guess the wrong answer will be eliminated directly. The system's beep sounded, belatedly reported. Now, only female mage number 2 and Shenhe, number 1, are left. There were only 2 people left, so there was no need to continue the game just now. But, there can only be one winner. For a moment, the eyes of Shenhe and the female mage became sharp. The final moment has come. Ding, Please draw the final duel method. A black box fell again. It was this box that Zhang Yang smoked before. Ladies first. Chen He stretched out a hand and said gentlemanly. The main thing is that it doesn't matter who smokes it. There will be no changes due to changes in lottery winners. No one has the ability to control randomness. Except for a guy who cheated and changed the probability of blind box. But it can only affect the probability of blind boxes. Thank you. The female mage also seemed very indifferent. He stretched out a hand and reached into the small black box. She randomly picked up a gashapon in the little black box. Open the gashapon. You can see a note with 3 words written on it. Rock, paper, scissors. Ding! The final duel has begun, and both sides will decide the outcome through rock, paper, scissors. A total of 5 rounds will be played, and 1 point will be awarded for victory or draw. The one with the higher score, and the one with 5 points, wins. The system announced somewhat intriguing rules. At the same time, Shen He found that he seemed to be able to speak, and the system did not prevent him from communicating with the female mage. This seems not just a simple guessing game. Chapter 51. A victory or a draw will earn you 1 point, for a total of 5 rounds. The party with the higher score in the end and the person with 5 points win. This also means that if it is a draw, there is a possibility of a win-win situation. But it only exists in theory. In fact, it is very difficult to achieve this situation. Just when Shen He was thinking about the new duel rules, a slightly neutral voice rang. It belongs to the female mage opposite. In the first game, I will make a draw, and I hope you will make a draw too. The female mage said. When Shen He heard this, he immediately raised his head. The female mage's face was hidden in a cloak, making her appearance unclear. The reason why we can tell that she is a girl is mainly based on her figure and physical characteristics. Probably a C. Or so, cough cough cough. Good. Shen He replied, although he agreed openly, but Shen He was calculating very quickly in his heart. Or, the female mage said that she would make a cloth to trick Shen He into making the cloth come out. Then, she took out the scissors herself. Or, she guessed that Shen He would produce scissors and wanted to win her, and then he would produce rocks. Or maybe it is, she really wanted to cooperate with Shen He. Pass this level together. Is this release just a test? Will she really make a release? It seems that no matter what happens next, the female mage will come out. All are reasonable. Shen He felt that his brain was a little insufficient. No, I can't see through my thoughts. Shen He was struck by the words of the female mage. It disturbed too many minds. Until the system prompts him. The first round is about to begin. Only then did Shen He temporarily clear all the distracting thoughts from his mind. He decided to throw a stone. If the female mage on the opposite side wants to trick him into making a fool of himself, there will definitely be scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Shen He and the female mage presented themselves at the same time. Stones from the sinking river. What the female mage produces is also a stone. Ding! The first game is a draw. The system's voice rang. A chuckle rang out immediately. The female mage's laughter passed through the cloak and reached Shen He. A smile unconsciously appeared on Shen He's face. There is a feeling of being among the same people. It seems that our next cooperation will be very pleasant. The female mage's voice was very happy. I think that's true. Shen He nodded. In the game just now, both of them completed their trials. Then he continued. Second round, scissors. Shen He gave instructions for the second round. Soon, the results of the second game came out. Scissors to scissors. Both of them used scissors. The same was true for the third and fourth games. It ended in a draw. The result is, after 4 rounds, Shen He and the female mage were 2 people. Both received 4 points. The next one, as long as it is a victory or a draw, you can win. But what comes next is also the most critical one. This round, I will play the stone. Shen He said calmly before starting the last round. But, what should I do if I want to clothe this one? The female mage did not answer. Instead, he asked Shen He a question. When Shen He heard this, he didn't panic at all. Instead, he said in a tone similar to joking. Okay, in the worst case, I'll just use the scissors. What a good idea, the female mage said in agreement. The 2 of them didn't seem to say anything, but they seemed to have said everything. Final round. Rock, paper, scissors. The final result is stone against stone. Draw. Ding. Congratulations to both parties for winning the game. Please choose one item each from the following 3 items. Ding. Congratulations to both of you for completing the hidden achievement and improving the quality of the optional items. The sound of the system sounded in their ears. On the table, there were 3 more items in an instant. A black gem the size of a pigeon egg exudes golden light. Modulation stone, a consumable item. After use, a certain piece of equipment can be added to a suit and incorporated into the passive, can be regarded as part of any suit, and the number of the suit included is calculated. A scroll. Map of the 3rd underground floor, detailed records of the contents of the 3rd underground floor. There is also a skill book. Frost Dragon Summoning Technique. Learning restrictions. Dragon Summoner, Summoner, Ice Element Controller, Mage. All 3 items are of golden quality. This time. But there is no such thing as Gentleman Linus. Chen-He immediately reached out and grabbed the black gem. Almost at the same time, a slender little hand also grabbed the skill book. After the 2 of them received the items, the last item suddenly disappeared. Where it disappeared, a black vortex appeared. That's the entrance to the 3rd floor. However, neither Chen-He nor the female mage chose to enter it immediately. The main reason why Chen-He didn't leave immediately was that the Dragon Explosion active skill was still on cooldown. After an hour of cooling, there are still a few minutes left. Chen-He wanted to wait until the skill cooled down, then go to the 3rd floor. As for why the female mage opposite didn't leave, Chen-He is not sure. Well, Chen-He soon became clear. Why doesn't the female mage leave? The target is him. To be precise, it was the regulating stone in his hand. Can you sell me the regulating stone in your hand? The female mage asked. Do you think it's possible? In fact, I also want to ask, is your Frost Dragon summoning technique for sale? Chen-He asked back without showing any signs of weakness. He also wants the Frost Dragon summoning technique. Although, that skill book requires 2 professions, Dragon Summoner or Ice Element Controller. Just by listening to the name, you can tell that it is a hidden profession, and it is not an ordinary hidden profession. But the stuff is undoubtedly good stuff. Among the 3 items, in a sense, the Frost Dragon summoning technique may have the highest value. But that's for people with those 2 careers. It's not that Chen-He didn't consider it, he chose the Frost Dragon summoning technique. Although it was in his hand, it might just be useless paper for the time being. The appearance of regulation stone. Let Chen-He hesitate no longer. If you add that modulation effect to Dragon's Wrath, Chen-He currently has 4 pieces of Grassland Guardian suit kits, plus a kit gift box of his choice. The effect of the 6-piece Grassland Guardian set can now be triggered. Moreover, this speed adjustment effect can continue to be used in the future. Anyway, Dragon's Wrath as a levelless ghost weapon. There is no equipment upgrading. Forget it if you don't want to sell. You are very special. I have a feeling we will meet again soon. After saying that, the female mage walked towards the entrance of the 3rd floor. It's mysterious. It would be a pity not to be a magic stick. Chen-He complained after the female mage left. Chen-He was the only one left in this space. Chen-He took out a black gemstone. Modulation stone. A dragon-shaped object was also taken out by Chen-He. Dragon's Wrath. When Chen-He will bring the 2 items together? The system's voice rang. Ding, do you use the prop rate adjustment stone to adjust the rate of Dragon's Wrath? Chen-He's answer. An obvious, yes. After getting confirmation from Chen-He, a dazzling brilliance suddenly burst out from the bodies of the modulation stone and Dragon's Wrath. After about 2 or 3 seconds, the light fades. At this time, the modulation stone has disappeared. It's like it never existed. There was only one thing left. Dragon's Wrath lying quietly in Chen-He's hands. Chen-He immediately clicked on the attribute of Dragon's Wrath. Dragon's Wrath. Level 0. Type Jewelry. Attribute bonus. Attack plus 10 * level. Magic resistance plus 8 * level. Passive. Dragon Fury. Every 3 normal attacks, strengthen the next attack. With 100 * level real damage, the enhanced normal attack must be released within 5 seconds. Adjustment rate. This equipment can be regarded as one of the components of any suit. Adjustment rate can only exist on one player. Initiative. Dragon explosion. Directly causes 1000 asterisk level real damage, cooling time is 1 hour. Equipment wearing restrictions. None. Equipment introduction. One of the powers extracted from the ancient wizard after sealing the evil dragon. Sure enough, there is an additional modulation effect, but there can only be one modulation effect. Although it seems a little restrictive, it doesn't seem to be unacceptable. Moreover, this restriction is reasonable when you think about it. If 4 pieces of equipment on a person have modulation passives, it would be too easy to put together a suit. Wait until Dragon Blast's cooldown expires. Shenhe stood up. Walked towards the entrance to the 3rd floor. Now he is in full condition again. As Shenhe comes into contact with the entrance to the 3rd floor, a suction force suddenly came from the entrance. Drag Shenhe in. Wait until Shenhe opens his eyes again. Then he found himself next to a pool. There are about 30 pillars placed in the pool. A figure was flying up and down on the pillar. Isn't it the female mage girl from before, or who is it? Just when Shenhe was a little confused about the content of this layer, the system's voice rang. Congratulations on gaining access to the 3rd underground floor. As the sound falls, something that looked like a key appeared in Shenhe's hand. Key to the 3rd underground floor. After casting the spell for 10 seconds, you can teleport to or leave the space on the 3rd underground floor. The item is bound and cannot be used by others, cannot be dropped, cannot be damaged, and cannot be traded. Here it is. Shenhe observed his surroundings for a few seconds. Discover. It seems that except for the dozens of pillars in front, there is nothing else. Shenhe shouted towards the female mage. Then, things came to a head. Just found out. I don't even seem to know what the other person's name is. It's not just the name that I don't know. I don't even know the game ID. It seemed that he was disturbed by Shenhe's voice. The female mage lost her balance and fell from the wooden stake. Fell into the pond. It took a long time before I climbed out of the pool. Water droplets fell on her body, and her clothes were soaked and clung to her skin, outlining her curvy figure. Gulu. Shenhe couldn't help but swallowed. The female mage's long hair was wet and stuck to her back, with water droplets sliding down her hair, shining like crystal pearls. The soaked clothes made her figure more obvious, with tall breasts, slender waist, round hips and slender legs. Her skin looked smoother and more delicate under the moisture of the water, as if she could squeeze out water. It's all your fault for making me fall, the female mage said accusingly. Although the cloak on his head can hide his face, his proud figure cannot be concealed at all when he is wet. Although Shenhe was not a lecherous person, he was still a little shocked by it. Ahem, I'm sorry, what's going on here? Shenhe coughed awkwardly twice and asked. This doesn't seem to be a place for fighting. We've made a lot of money this time. Did you see the plum blossom pile over there? It's an excellent helper for practicing your steps. You'll know after you experience it yourself. When it came to business, the female mage seemed very excited. Do you know about flow? The flow training of the Hunter Guild, pace training is part of it. The pace training content here is no worse than that of the Hunter Guild. Even in the Hunter Guild, if you want to experience pace training, you need to submit it to the guild contributions, and here, are almost unlimited. Because she was so happy, the female mage's words seemed special. Not even aware of it, I unintentionally revealed some of my identity information. She actually knows the content of Hunter Guild training. This is remarkable. Shenhe seriously doubted that there was something wrong with her identity. Definitely not ordinary people like him. Suddenly, Shenhe realized it. Now is a perfect opportunity. Maybe, you can get some information about the Hunter Guild and flow training from the female mage's mouth. Hunter Guild, flow training. Shenhe looked very surprised. It can be said that he looks like a country bumpkin. Shenhe knew that this kind of appearance could easily arouse the mentality of showing off in others. So that you can get the news. Sure enough, you don't even know this. The Hunter Guild is one of the 6 top guilds in the wilderness. Flow is a special state. It is different from the attributes in the game. It is a realm unique to the player. Suddenly, the female mage stopped talking. Are you trying to trick me? The female mage realized Shenhe's plan before she said a few words. Shenhe's move was actually not very clever. Ahem. No. Shenhe coughed quickly and said. You don't know how. Do you still have a hunter badge in your hand? The female mage asked again casually. Shen He felt a sense of danger. Can you guess this? I have something else to do, so I'll leave first. Shen He took out the teleportation badge and prepared to leave. Before leaving, Shen He suddenly asked something out of nowhere. I don't know yet, what's your name? Penelia is alluring. The 10-second countdown is over. Shen He returned to Xinglo Plain. Ding, congratulations on completing this exploration of the Prairie Wolf Tomb. You can choose from the following 3 options. The dog's immortal blind box. Shen He did not hesitate. Among the 3 items, I chose the dog's immortal blind box. That's what he came for. Falling with the sound of sinking river. A small red box appeared in Shen He's hand. This is the blind box that can open the unleveled red ghost weapon, Dog's Immortality. Shen He temporarily put away the blind box. After completing the task of having an in-depth communication with an NPC of level 2 or above within 7 days, he will be able to obtain unlimited blind box modification permissions once. The second level is red ghost weapon. I wonder what it is like. Shen He had already started to think freely in his heart. 1. Dragon's Wrath is so powerful. He would have never imagined that he would have 2 ungraded red ghost weapons on his body. What's it like? Bah, 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 now is not the time to dream. Shen He stuck out his tongue. Current task. The goal is to reach level 39 as quickly as possible, then complete the job transfer task, and then talk about other things. Otherwise, he would not even be qualified to go to Baiyun Town to find Fairy Miaotong. Not to mention in-depth communication. Cough cough cough. Upgrade, upgrade, upgrade. Shen He was full of energy and continued to devote himself to the great cause of upgrading. Kill the prairie wolf mobs whenever you see them. Now he no longer cares about the consumption of medicine. I just want to reach level 39 as soon as possible. Especially when Shen He saw the number of survivors. Suddenly some flax was stunned. Number of survivors. 974 10,000ths. Surprisingly, there are less than 1,000 people left. The decrease in the number of remaining people made Shen He become a little impatient. This is a rare triple experience area. If there is no triple experience bonus, it will only slow down Shen He's upgrade progress. We have to speed up. The sense of urgency of reducing the number of people squeezed Shen He's nerves. Shen He unconsciously speeded up leveling and spawning monsters again. Even Shen He himself didn't realize it. He could actually kill a prairie wolf monster so smoothly. Start with a basic attack, block and counterattack, dodge and receive the attack, and finally take away the dragon's anger passively. A set of small combos looks extremely smooth. Now it only takes less than 10 seconds to kill a prairie wolf monster. So much of the time spent on leveling is spent looking for monsters. About 3 hours later, Shen He's level reached level 35. Shen He at this time met a group of about 20 or 30 people. If he didn't have enough strength, Shen He would have rushed forward, killed this group of people, and turned this group of people into his experience points. Shen He, who was not strong enough, had no choice but to run away. Shen He doesn't want to cause trouble at all now. He just wants to raise his level quickly. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Time passed slowly. Shen He's experience is also increasing crazily. During this period, Shen He was very lucky and met several individual players who coveted him. These players have naturally become part of the Shen He experience. It can slightly speed up sinking the river to accumulate experience points. Level 36, Level 37, Level 38, Level 39. The moon is already at its zenith. Shen He is still 5% short of experience before reaching level 39. When Shen He saw the prairie wolf boss not far away who was sleeping on the ground but had not been killed, a frightening light shot out from his eyes. There are still bosses, and there is one boss that I haven't cleared yet. Shen He quickly arrived in front of the prairie wolf boss. Roar! Shen He's arrival alarmed the prairie wolf boss. Let the steppe wolf boss roar at Shen He. It roared angrily, as if it wanted to tear Shen He into pieces. But this time the prairie wolf boss. In Shen He's eyes, she looked extremely cute. This is simply the cutest creature in the world. Goodbye, I'm going to miss you. A dragon-shaped badge appeared in Shen He's hand. The next moment, a thick beam of light shot out from the dragon-shaped badge. Dragon Blast. Boom. Amid a violent buzzing sound, Chen He's experience tank was finally filled. 2 items, 1 gold and 1 purple, sprayed out from the Prairie Wolf boss. Shen He glanced at the remaining number of people. 116 10,000ths. Only the last 100 or so people were left, and only a few dozen people were left before the sacrifice was completed. Tonight, in 1 or 2 hours at most, the sacrifice will be over. Shen He breathed out a sigh of relief. He finally reached level 39 with full experience before the sacrifice ended. After the sacrifice is over, he can return to the camp to receive the training mission. Don't go offline anymore, just wait until the sacrifice is over. Shen He came to a tree and sat down leaning on the tree, waiting for the sacrifice to end. Of course, he is not sitting idle. He began to check the dropped items just now. I didn't expect that I could still withdraw money. Chen He grabbed the golden object, and now he has killed nearly 10 Prairie Wolf bosses. Except for the first one that gave him a golden item, the others were all purple items. Unexpectedly, another gold was given to him here. That purple item is undoubtedly a time card. Shen He was of no use for the time being, so he threw it in his backpack. With a click of Shen He's finger, the entire golden object appeared in front of Shen He's eyes. This is something that looks like a token. Guild order, one of the necessary conditions for establishing a guild. Hey, it's actually this thing. Shen He played with the token in his hand. To establish a guild, 3 conditions are required: a guild order, a guild contract stone, and 500 city reputation points. Guild. Shen He touched his chin. If you want to establish a guild, guild order, guild contract stone, and 500 points of city reputation are all necessary. Among the 3 conditions, guild order is the easiest to achieve. 2 additional conditions. 500 city reputation points are easier to get. You can get them by participating in the City Lord's Palace to clear out bandits, or by slowly accumulating in city battles. Guild Contract Stone Tablet is the most difficult one. Because this thing is limited. Within each first-level town, there are only a maximum of 10 Guild Contract Stones. This means that there are at most 10 guilds in a first-level town. If you want to establish a new guild, you must destroy the other guild and grab the guild contract stone into your own hands. I remember that Dad always seemed to want to leave the Blue Sky Guild and start his own business. Give it to Dad. Chen He decided the purpose of this guild order. Take it to honor Daddy. He still respects his parents very much. Mom already has gifts, so just think of this as a gift for Dad, although it seems to be a lot worse than the hidden sub-career transfer item for Mom. It was just after Shen He put away the guild order. A system beep sounded over the Xinglo plain. Ding, the sacrifice is completed, the seal is lifted, and rewards will be distributed based on the ranking of points held. The system's voice fell. Lines of text appeared on a stone tablet somewhere in the Starfall plain. The first line of text. Shen He's UID and nickname were clearly written on it. The second line, Penelia Alluring City. A whole 100 lines were written with all the names of everyone on it. When all 100 names appeared on the stone tablet, buzz, accompanied by a violent buzzing, countless rays of light spewed out from the sacrificial stone tablet and shot into the sky, looking for their owner. After the rewards were distributed, the sacrificial stone tablet rose into the sky and flew high into the sky. Fly into the sky and disappear. A golden light fell from the sky. It fell into Shen He's hands. Ding, you won the first place in this event and will be rewarded with the second turn breakthrough material, the second turn Dragon Soul X1. A piece of material fell into Shen He's hands. This is the top reward for this sacrifice. Something that looks like a crystal ball. There is an illusory dragon soul sealed in the crystal ball. Although restrained, it still twisted its body from time to time, as if struggling to escape the restraints. The shape of the dragon soul is vague, but its powerful power and majesty can be felt. Its twisting was accompanied by a low roar, which seemed to come from the ancient abyss, full of anger and unwillingness. Every roar made the surrounding air tremble, seeming to declare its existence and unyieldingness to the outside world. Second turn Dragon Soul. Shen He looked at the extra items in his hand. There was a burst of ecstasy in my heart. The second turn Dragon Soul. Isn't this one of the materials required by Mouse's spirit? As for why Rat needs Dragon Soul materials, this is not something Shen He needs to consider. The sacrifice was over, and the blockade of the Starfall Plain was of course also over. When Shen Yi's address book resumed communication, it vibrated several times in succession. Shen Yi clicked on the address book and found that it was the communication between his father and mother. From last night to now, I have sent more than a dozen messages. Go Dongzi also sent him several messages. Looking at this information, a touch of warmth flowed through Shen Yi's heart. Although his parents have now been transformed into digital beings, they are still very good to him. Now that communication has been restored, Shen Yi immediately made a video call to his father. Just less than half a second. The video is connected. Father Shen Yangming and Mother Yang Lushan both appeared in the video. You kid, what's going on? You're not even answering the phone. As soon as Yang Lushan saw Shen Yi, she immediately asked anxiously. It's okay, we have entered a special area. Shen Yi scratched his head in embarrassment. Makes parents worry. Hey, what's going on? You're already level 39. Father Shen said very surprised. It's only been a few days. This is 39. It's not that fast to cheat, right? Hey, I had a little adventure and entered a multiple experience zone. Chen He smiled naively and said vaguely. That's it. Father Shen's eyes flickered. He knew that things were certainly not as simple as Shen He said. But since Shen He didn't want to say it, forget it. After all, the result is a good thing. You are already level 39. Are you going to change jobs next? Have you decided what profession you want to change to? Father Shen skipped the previous topic. I started to care about Shen Yi's next route choice. Can you please stop talking about business at this time? Urza, let me tell you, your dad and I helped you introduce a marriage to a friend's daughter, who has only reached level 40 in the past 2 days. I estimate that I will come to Baiyun town in a few days, and I will meet you then. Yang Lushan said nonchalantly. Marriage. Shen He's expression froze slightly. No, he has just grown up. There's no need to be in such a hurry, right? It's not that we have to succeed, just think of it as making friends. Father Shen said. After hearing his father's words, Shen He's expression became slightly normal. But it didn't take long for him to be normal. Then, his father's words made Shen He's face stiffen again. Of course, if it's suitable, get married as soon as possible. Ahem, cough, I have something else to do. I'm going to bed first. Shen He couldn't stand the singing of his parents. Although he also knows that his parents care about him. But he doesn't like it. After hanging up the video with his parents, Shen He sent another message to Gudong, saying that he was fine. Then he found a mob, stood still, and let the mob beat him to death and send him back to the city for free. This is the first time Shen He has used the mechanism that there will be no penalty for dying before one turn. If nothing else, this is also the last time Shen He uses this mechanism. The steppe wolf monster cleared Shen He's health bar with a slap. Shen He's body turned into a stream of light and flew towards the novice camp. Wait until Shen He opens his eyes. He was already in rookie camp. Directly offline. Time flies. Came the next day. Shen He came to a building called the Occupation Hall. A job change in one move. It's about doing it here. Shen He walked into the career hall. His gaze soon settled on a bald man with a naked upper body and several scars on his body. This NPC. He is the warrior mentor. The first transfer is just a passing trial. You only need to find the corresponding professional mentor after reaching level 39 and gaining experience. Then just complete the trial tasks assigned by the instructor. Generally it's not too difficult. Hello, warrior mentor, I want to become a warrior. Shen He came to the warrior mentor and said. Chen He remembered that there was a first level warrior skill called Continuous Slash which could perform 2 basic attacks. There is also a second level warrior skill called 3 Consecutive Cuts which can perform 3 normal attacks. Yes, young man, you have met the qualifications for promotion. Please go to the Black Snake Swamp and bring back 3 black snake galls to prove your courage. Okay, Shen He replied. The words just fell. He heard the system prompt ringing in his ears. Ding, you have received the warrior job transfer task, Black Snake Swamp. Please go to Black Snake Swamp and obtain 3 black snake guts. Black Snake Swamp is a level 40 to 45 map. The map level is higher than that of Xinglo Plain. This place is full of monsters above level 40, and they don't sell anything good. Painting pictures is extremely cost-effective. Basically, only those who are doing the level 40 job transfer mission will go. I'm pretty lucky. For the Black Snake mission, the main reason is that the snake's courage rate is a bit low. He found a guide on the forum. The mission in Black Snake Swamp is not very difficult. The Black Snake mobs are still easy to defeat. As for the snake gall material, only those who have started the job transfer mission will have a very low probability of exploding it when they kill the Black Snake mobs. It's not like no one has thought about whether to get more materials and sell them to other players who have won this task. However, the Snake Gallbladder quest item also has untradeable attributes. This leaves gold traders who want to make a fortune by farming materials like Snake Gallbladder to have no choice but to give up. It's not like there's no way out. It's just not cost-effective and the risk is relatively high. It's better to just change it. For example, assist in completing job transfer. The boss who can afford the money forms a team to work as a thug. As soon as Shenhe came to Black Snake Swamp, I saw a lot of level 40 players who had successfully transferred, shouting outside the Black Snake Swamp. A warrior, help complete the job transition. The combat combinations are all one-turn players, come and get on board. Shenhe's arrival attracted a lot of attention. But most people, after taking a look at Shenhe and seeing the rags all over Shenhe, didn't pay much attention to Shenhe. At first glance, he looks like a poor man. Of course, there are also those who do not believe in evil. Maybe Shenhe is a boss. Not long after, a woman carrying a big hammer blocked Shenhe's way. Boss, if the job transfer is successful, it only takes half a month. My price is definitely the most cost-effective in the area, Hammer Girl said. Shenhe didn't want to get involved with these people. I don't have time, Shenhe said. Businessmen pursue profits, and if there is no profit, no one will do it in vain. Sure enough, after listening to Shenhe's words, the Hammer Girl left with a dark face. Shenhe's poor equipment helped Shenhe avoid a lot of trouble. Successfully entered the Black Snake Swamp map. Shenhe looked around. In the distance is a huge mire swamp. In this huge mire swamp, there is chaos and a disgusting stench. Wherever he looked, several large black snakes as thick as buckets were rolling in the mud. Their bodies are huge and thick, and their scales are shining with dark light, as if they are monsters rising from the depths of darkness. Black Snake LV42. These big snakes seem to be looking for something in the quagmire, sometimes twisting their bodies and sometimes sticking out their tongues to explore the surrounding environment. Let's start brushing. It's just that my experience tank is capped now, so I can't get experience points. All my experience points are wasted. Shenhe quickly came to the swamp. The thought of having no experience in fighting monsters. Obsessive-compulsive disorder is very difficult. But there's nothing you can do about it, everyone is like this. I just hope that I can get 3 mission items out soon. Shenhe muttered, approaching the nearest black snake. When the sinking river is close to the quagmire, he subconsciously covered his nose with his hand. The water in the mire showed a turbid dark green color, as if it was contaminated by corrupt substances. The stench permeates the air, making people feel suffocated and uncomfortable. It stinks. Shenhe suddenly felt a little regret and changed his profession to a warrior. If it is a mage, then can't I now kill monsters gracefully and remotely? Why is it like a melee fighter who has to be close to the swamp? Of course, I only regret it a little bit. We still have to take the warrior route. A fragile profession like the mage still has serious shortcomings. Moreover, let's talk about the route that is most suitable for Shenhe. In fact, it should be more evil. Meat equipment attack speed. Meat equipment ensures survivability, and attack speed ensures output. But Shenhe's current conditions are limited. The Grassland Guardian suit is a meat suit. As for attack speed, we can only think of ways to deal with weapons. I remember that there seemed to be a weapon with a passive that had an 80% chance of turning into a combo every time it attacked, and it also increased the attack speed. What was that weapon called? Isn't this Snake Gallbladder too difficult to get rid of? Shenhe used his Dragon Fury passively and killed a black snake monster. This is already the 30th mob that Shenhe has killed, and finally the first mission item, Snake Gallbladder, appears. Snake Gallbladder mission item. According to this explosion rate, We have to farm 60 more to explode. Shen He threw the snake gallbladder into his backpack. It's a waste of time to keep doing it like this, otherwise. Just when Shen He was thinking, suddenly he saw a level 39 player running towards him. If nothing else, this is also a warrior job change mission. Just when Shen He was secretly on guard, I saw something seemed to be following the player. When Shen He saw clearly what was following the warrior player, he immediately started swearing. Depend on. Shen He ran away. That player didn't know what he did that was so unreasonable. He was actually chased by at least 50 or 60 black snakes. Don't run towards me. Shen He scolded that guy so much in his heart. It's not that he's afraid of death. There's no turning around now, and there's no punishment if he dies. What he was afraid of was that after death, he would be teleported back to Novice Village and have to run over again. The things here quickly attracted other attention. In addition, wherever the black snake group passed, there was an endless supply of black snake monsters, and more black snake monsters joined the snake group. It only took a few minutes. Among the black snake mobs, the number of black snake mobs gathered has reached 3 digits. For a time, no one dared to provoke him. Everyone retreated. And these black snake monsters seemed to be attracted by something. No matter where the player runs, the snakes will chase that player. Well, that's not important. The important thing is, that player has been following Shen He. This wave of pure and innocent disaster. Stop chasing me. Tough luck, tough luck, tough luck. Shen He shouted without tears. Really unlucky. The area ahead is a hollowed-out stone forest. Seeing such terrain gave Shen He a way to escape. Call out. A piece of spider silk shot out from Shen He's hand. Adhered to a stone pillar. Shen He used the second stage of traction to pull himself to the stone pillar. It should be safe. Standing on a stone pillar 3 to 4 meters high, Shen He waited for the tide of snakes to leave. About 2 seconds later, the man who was being chased by the black snake monster also came nearby. When he saw Shen He standing on the top of the stone pillar and the spider silk in Shen He's hand, his eyes suddenly lit up. Brother, give me a hand and pull me up. The man quickly shouted for help. But Shen He was unmoved at all. He had done a good job of killing monsters and suffered this wave of unreasonable disasters for nothing. It would be magnanimous not to take action against this man. Do you want to save him yourself? Shen He looked unmoved. The man continued to shout anxiously. Help me, are you brushing snake gallbladder to complete the job transfer task? I have another one here. Snake gallbladder. Shen He's heart moved. It's not that we can't carry forward the traditional virtue of being friendly to others. Okay, you throw out the snake gall first. Shen He shouted. The man had no choice but to throw up a piece of snake gall material. A spider web shot out from Shen He's hand and accurately caught the snake gall material. With a gentle pull, the snake gall material was pulled into his hand. Quick, pull me up quickly. The man called, got the stuff and confirmed it's okay. Shen Hekai shot a spider web towards the man. A man with such a large body cannot be pulled over directly, but the man used the traction of the spider web to hug the stone pillar tightly. After wasting several cobwebs, Shen He pulled the man up. At this time, the hundreds of black snakes had surrounded the stone pillar. Hundreds of black snakes were squirming below, looking a bit creepy. What kind of evil thing did you do? Shen He looked sideways at the man. To have such a huge hatred value, what kind of evil thing did this man do? It has nothing to do with you. The man said bluntly. They are all level 39, there are no players who have changed one level, and the man is not afraid of Shen He. At least that's what he thought. Suddenly, the man stretched out his hand and pushed. I want to push Shen He off the stone pillar. This place is fine for one person, but it's a bit too crowded for 2 people. But, a hand grabbed his arm. A twist, a pull. Then a collision. In the man's shocked eyes. Instead, he knocked him down. I knew you were no good. Thank you for the snake gall material. Shen He said to the man who fell. Then he stared at the man's position, as if waiting for something. I would rather give me a precious job transfer material than be killed. You have a secret. Shen He watched the man's falling figure without blinking. The man's body fell from a stone pillar 3 to 4 meters high and fell into a group of snakes. In the blink of an eye, he was overwhelmed. An object jumped out from among the snakes. Shen He, who was concentrating on the situation below, had a look of joy on his face. A spider web shoots out. The open spider web instantly wrapped the items. Under Shen He's pull, it fell into Shen He's hands. It hasn't even turned one yet, but the things that have fallen are all good things. Shen He caught the thing in the spider web. There is no penalty for dying before the first turn, but if you can still drop something from your body, it is 100% good. Thanks, brother, I will remember you. Shen He said to himself. Although, he didn't seem to even know the other person's name. Shen He was seen peeling the items out of the cobweb. Use your finger to rub it on the item. Let the properties of the items appear before your eyes. Broken Snake Forest Dungeon Key used to open the key to the level 50 dungeon, the Broken Snake Forest. When this item is on the body, the hatred value of snake creatures increases by 150%, and there is a 70% chance of dropping it after death. Requirements for use. Turn the player around and go to the designated location to open it. When seeing the properties of an item, Shen He probably understood why that man just now will be chased by so many snakes. What should I do now? When Shen He glanced at the group of snakes below with his peripheral vision, he suddenly felt a little confused. The snakes below have not dispersed yet. Now that the thing has fallen into his hands, the snake hatred value increased by 150% and fell on him. Do you want to bet on the 30% probability? Shen He rummaged in his backpack, looking for a solution. Suddenly, an item made Shen He feel happy. Key to the 3rd underground floor. Last time Banksia Chingchong was using it, I was in a hurry to upgrade, so I didn't take a closer look. Let's take a closer look now. She should be gone, right? Shen He holds the key. Read the article for 10 seconds and start transmitting. After I teleport away, these black snake monsters will disperse, right? 10, 9, 2, 1, 0. The 10 seconds reading time is over. Shen He, who was standing on the stone pillar, suddenly disappeared. Around the stone pillars, snakes were tightly entwined. It's a sight that can make the scalp of someone with trypophobia tingle. Their bodies are winding and twisting, spitting out letters from time to time, exuding a disturbing aura. However, when Shen He disappeared from the stone pillar, the snake group suddenly fell into chaos. They seemed to have lost their purpose and began to wander aimlessly, no longer as closely united as before. Some snakes twisted their bodies, trying to find traces of the sinking river, others looked confused, not knowing where to go. As time went by, the snakes gradually dispersed. They each swam in different directions and disappeared around them. Prairie Wolf Tomb, 3 floors underground. Accompanied by a burst of space fluctuations. Shen He appeared here. Banksia Chingchong is no longer here. Something must have happened. Is it comparable to the pace training of the Hunter Guild? I would like to see it. Shen He came to the pool. There were wooden piles standing in the pool in front of him. Shen He remembered that Banksia Chingchong seemed to call these piles plum blossom piles. When Shen He stepped forward to a wooden pile near the edge of the pool, the system's voice rang. Ding, you have started plum blossom pile training, please follow the path guided by the system. With the system bell ringing, 2 bright lights appeared on the 2 wooden piles in front. The 2 piles were a little far away from him, almost 1 meter, slightly different. You need to take long and accurate steps before you can step on it. Shen He hesitated for a moment. The next moment, the wooden pile under his feet disappeared out of thin air. Shen He suddenly felt that his feet were empty, and his body instantly lost his balance. He instinctively wanted to grab something, but there was only air around him. The next moment, he fell into the pool with a huge splash. Ding, training failed, please start again. Ba ba. Shen He emerged from the water. He crawled back to the ground looking a little embarrassed. Interesting. After experiencing a failure, Shen He, instead of being discouraged, became enthusiastic. Immediately, Shen He immediately started his second attempt. This time, he no longer hesitated, the light lit up, and Shen He immediately stepped on it without hesitation. Then, because the steps were relatively large, when I jumped over, my center of gravity was not stable. Plop, Shen He fell into the water again. Interesting, this training is interesting. Realizing the difficulty, Shen He immediately put away his playful mentality. He originally just wanted to hide here until the black snakes surrounding her dispersed. Just go back and continue to grind the last snake gut material to complete the job change. He didn't completely believe Banksia Chingchung's words. After experiencing this pace training for himself, he couldn't believe it. Failure once or twice was nothing. Shenhe immediately regained his strength. Training again. Plop, plop. From time to time, the sound of heavy objects falling to the ground resounded in the space. It took about a few hours of training. Shenhe finally completed the initial control of his center of gravity while walking on the wooden piles. But that's about it. Ding! Congratulations on completing the first stage of training and unlocking difficulty level 2. As soon as difficulty level 2 started, Shenhe fell down. When it comes to difficulty 2, the time of the wooden stakes standing under his feet is reduced by 20%. This makes Shenhe have to use a faster speed. Even thinking is a waste of time. He needs to instinctively jump when he sees a light spot. This practice lasted for several hours. Just when Shenhe fell into the water again and climbed out of the pool in embarrassment. Then he saw a slender figure wearing a bamboo hat, standing on the stage. How does it feel, this training? Banksia Chingchung asked. It's very difficult. Difficulty level 2. I can't pass it yet. Shenhe said truthfully. How can you become a fat man after one bite? Training requires time and effort. If you can pass difficulty level 1 on the first try, it means your talent is not bad. Banksia Chingchung said with slight approval. Can I ask, how difficult is it for you now? Shenhe asked curiously. I had seen Banksia Chingchung's training before, although I didn't watch it for a long time and didn't look at it carefully. But Banksia Chingchung's sense of elegance and speed at that time far exceeded that of Shenhe. Difficulty 4, I can't complete this difficulty yet. Difficulty 4 here is already much more difficult than the pace training in the Hunter Guild. Banksia Chingchung replied. What you're saying seems like you've participated in the Hunter Guild's training. Shenhe said immediately. There is no need to test me with this kind of behavior. I am indeed a half-Hunter Guild member. I have experienced the training of the Hunter Guild, but in the real world. Banksia Chingchung said with a slight smile. A more mysterious color, blooming in Banksia Chingchung's body. Banksia Chingchung made Shenhe feel increasingly incomprehensible. What does half mean? Shenhe continued to ask. Want to know? Then you have to exchange the information I want with me. Banksia Chingchung did not refuse, but instead made a condition. What are the conditions that interest you? How could I have it? Shenhe shrugged and replied. How come there isn't? You have a ghost weapon on your body, right? Banksia Chingchung said something shocking. Shenhe was alert for a moment, but soon he looked like nothing happened. What are you talking about? I don't understand. Shenhe replied. This is his biggest reliance besides the blind box modification authority. Now that I have said it, I must use my method and make it real. No need to hide it, I just want to ask you to help me complete a task. This task is very important to me. If you can help me complete it, I owe you a favor, how about it? Banksia Chingchung suggested. Banksia Chingchung's favor. Shenhe's brain was spinning rapidly. Banksia Chingchung is extremely mysterious. At present, she has a close relationship with the Hunter Guild. It seems that a favor from her is not a loss in any case. Okay, but you have to tell me, how do you know? Shenhe agreed, but at the same time made a request. Okay, that's it, here it is. Banksia Chingchung pursed her lips. In her hand, there was something like a compass. The arrow was pointing at Shenhe. The compass is divided into 12 grids. There are 2 hands in total, one pointer points to a dragon-shaped pattern, and the other pointer points to Shenhe River. You can take a look at the properties of this thing first. Banksia Chingchung showed the attributes to Shenhe. When Shenhe checked the properties of the compass, his breathing became countless times heavier. This thing is for him. No less than an artifact. Zodiac Compass. Level 0. Type Jewelry. Attribute bonus. None. Passive. Zodiac Guardian. 12 Zodiac series accessories, all can be embedded on this item. Zodiac Sensing. The sensing range increases with the number of inlaid zodiac signs. The current range is level 1. Initiative. Zodiac Guide. After 1 year, you can get a random piece of information about the unobtained zodiac sign, with a cooling time of 7 days. Equipment wearing restrictions. None. Equipment introduction. the ancient wizard, after sealing the evil dragon, extracted 12 strands of power, and extracted the core of the power by combining it with the dragon's scales. Shen He couldn't look away. He had long suspected. Rat's agility and dog's immortality are from the same series as the dragon's wrath in his hand. Now, it's basically ready to go. And look at the attributes and effects of this item. Not to mention the attributes. There are no attribute bonuses. 2 passive skills and 1 active skill. One of the passive skills and 1 active skill are both search types. What Shen He mainly focused on was the ability to inlay 12 spells. What concept? Just have this thing in hand. 1 jewelry slot can hold 12 jewelry pieces. It's simply outrageous to open the door for outrageousness. It's so outrageous. You know, even if a player has opened up all the expansion equipment slots, there are only 10 equipment slots. This thing, it only occupies 1 accessory slot and can be equipped with 12 accessories. Shen He no longer knew what words to use to describe his current mood. This thing, where did you come from? As soon as Shen He's eyes touched the compass in Banksia Qingcheng's hand, it was as if it was stuck with glue. It can't be moved. Secret. Banksia Qingcheng smiled slightly and said, "Can you sell me this thing?" Shen He tried his best to control his emotions and make himself look less excited. "Selling it to you. I don't lack the time card. You have to come up with something that interests me." Banksia Qingcheng pursed her lips and said with the pearl of wisdom in hand, "Okay, what do you want me to do for you? How about using this as payment? Isn't that the purpose of showing this thing to me?" Chen He said. Otherwise, why would Banksia Qingcheng show this thing to him? There must be a purpose. Isn't it just for his fish? Smart, here you go. Banksia Qingcheng handed the compass in her hand directly to Shen He. This thing is basically of no use to her. But for certain people, it's not an exaggeration to say it's a magical weapon. Thank you, thank you. Although Shen He has tried his best to control it. But his voice still trembled unconsciously. He took the zodiac compass over. Banksia Qingcheng noticed something strange about Shen He. Suddenly, I felt like I had suffered a huge loss. Did I suffer a big loss? Banksia Qingcheng covered her chest. A pang of regret rose up. She felt that judging from Shen He's performance, her asking price seemed to be lower. Don't say it's the same thing. She felt that even if she asked for 10 things, Shen He would agree. If you sell at a low price, you will lose money. This thing is important to you. Banksia Qingcheng bit her lip. Reason told her that using a useless thing in exchange for Shen He to do something for her was a very cost-effective thing. Moreover, although that thing looks very strong, but it will only appear strong when you hold multiple zodiac unleveled ghost weapons. It's just that the levelless red ghost weapon, if you can get one of this thing, it will be smoke coming out of the ancestral grave. How can you get another one? However, rationality is rationality. This intuitive feedback. This feedback is obviously due to a big loss. It's very important. Thank you very much. Shen He said very solemnly. There was no unnecessary hypocrisy in the words. He was really grateful to Banksia Qingcheng. No, don't do this. My heart can't bear it if you do this again. Banksia Qingcheng covered her chest. My heart hurts so much. Chen He's reaction undoubtedly proved that he had such a reaction because he had made a lot of money. Can we discuss something? I'll raise the price. Banksia Qingcheng said with pain. When Chen He heard this, his expression immediately changed. Do you want to raise the price now? Isn't it a little late? What do you think? Shen He asked rhetorically. Snort. Banksia Qingcheng snorted dissatisfiedly. Don't forget to promise me, you have to do me a favor. Banksia Qingcheng said angrily. Okay, no problem. Just tell me what you're doing. Chen He was in a good mood. It's not urgent, you can't help me now, I'll wait until you turn around. Banksia Qingcheng is still angry with Shen He. Just thinking about it makes me feel like I'm at a loss. She didn't expect that this compass could be here in Shen He and be of such great value. Unfortunately, it's too late to say anything now. Add a friend and find me after a while. Banksia Qingcheng gave her UID to Shen He. The two added each other as friends. Okay, goodbye, I still have to complete the job transfer task. Shen He took out the key and was about to teleport away. He estimated that the group of black snake monsters surrounding him had already left. Shenhe began to read the note and left, while Banksia Chingcheng walked into the plum blossom pile and started training. With a flash of light, Shenhe appeared above the stone pillar. As expected, the group of black snake monsters all dispersed. Shenhe stood on the stone pillar and had no plans to jump off for the time being. He held the zodiac compass in his hand. Then, Dragon's Wrath was embedded in the groove representing the dragon. Dragon's Wrath fits perfectly with the dragon-shaped groove, as if it was originally one piece. Zodiac Compass replaced Dragon's Wrath in the first position of the accessories area. Of course, Shenhe's attributes won't change at all. Zodiac Compass does not provide any combat-related gains. It would be great if I had other Zodiac ghost weapons now, Shenhe said greedily. As long as it is a ghost weapon from the Zodiac series, it does not occupy other equipment slots with him now. It only needs to be embedded on the Zodiac Compass and it will take effect. How about spending a year looking for clues? Shenhe held his chin and began to weigh. Zodiac Compass. You can get information about the Zodiac Ghost by paying for 1 year. Shenhe took a look and saw that he still had more than 2 years. Heartbroken. Although the price is a bit high. But it's not unacceptable. If you can find a Zodiac Ghost weapon, it won't strengthen him too much. Anyway, these time are for nothing, just use it for 1 year. Shenhe finally made up his mind. Take out the Zodiac Compass and activate active skills. Zodiac Guide. Ding, are you sure? It will take 1 year to activate the Zodiac Guidance. The system's beep sounded in Shenhe's ears. Yes. Shenhe's face trembled, and he answered with some pain. Then, Shenhe saw that his login time was rapidly decreasing like an avalanche. From more than 2 years, it collapsed to more than a year. As the sinking river pours time into the compass, the Zodiac Guidance skill is finally activated. The pointer on the compass seemed to be going crazy, spinning rapidly. Not long after, one of the hands stopped first. It fell on the pattern of tiger. The other pointer continues to rotate. After turning around for an unknown number of times, he pointed in one direction and stopped. At the same time, 2 words that seemed familiar to Shenhe appeared on the compass. Tower of the Sun, Tower of the Moon. Does the red ghost weapon that represents the tiger have something to do with the Tower of the Sun and the Tower of the Moon? Wait, no, it took me a year to tell me this, Shenhe said with some discomfort. This information is too general. And, there is one more thing besides. Even though Zodiac Compass does not give this information, Shenhe also wants to conquer the Tower of the Sun and the Tower of the Moon. The task given by the blind box modifier is to let Shenhe clear the 12th floor of the Moon Tower. Profiteer, profiteer, Shenhe cursed loudly in his heart. Suffered this dumb loss, but it seemed helpless. Moreover, Shenhe has more troublesome things now. That is, the last snake gut mission item. I can't even go near Black Snake Swamp now. Shenhe has not forgotten that he now has a high amount of extra hatred for snake creatures. If he dares to brush the black snake, he will be beaten by a group of black snake monsters in minutes. Just like the man just now. Just when Shenhe was standing not far outside the swamp, hesitating, he suddenly discovered something. There seemed to be more people nearby. And it's not just a little bit more, it's a lot more all at once. As you can see, there are many first-level players at level 40. They roughly gathered into 2 groups. Just when Shenhe was wondering why such a change happened, a black snake boss with a body length of more than 5 meters appeared. The 2 groups seemed to have anticipated the boss's refresh time. The black snake boss just appeared. The main force of the 2 groups surrounded them. And each of them separated a few people to guard the surroundings. This is specifically to remember the boss's refresh time, and the venue is reserved, Shenhe said with a clear face. This kind of thing is not unusual. Many high-value bosses and even high-value mobs will be reserved. This level 40 Black Snake boss is undoubtedly a high-value boss. The people from the Fangya and Tianyu regiments are bullying others too much. Waves of dissatisfaction immediately arose in the crowd. The people in these 2 groups are all a group of cowards. I heard that many of them reached level 46 months ago, but they just rely on the novice village. The resources of the novice village cannot support the improvement of players in the first round. This group of people don't dare to go to first-level towns and become kings in Shinsho village. Shenhe just listened to the first and second teams for a while. All I heard was negative news about these two adventure groups. This group of people just insists on being the king and hegemony in novice village. If it's just for eternal life, there seems to be no problem with this. Shenhe thought from a different angle. Level 40 is a level change. If you go to a first-level town, you will become the lowest level in minutes. But if you stay in novice village, you will undoubtedly be at the level of a local overlord. Of course, this would be unmotivated. It can be seen that the two groups of people work very well together to pull monsters and gain buffs. Boss was defeated by two groups of people. In less than 2 minutes, he was beaten to the point of reduced health. Only 30% of the blood volume is left. Starting to enter a violent state. Hiss. The black snake boss looked up to the sky and roared. The sound was deafening, as if it was going to tear the whole world apart. Following its roar, a layer of red blood spurted out from its body and quickly spread across its surface. This layer of blood is like a surging torrent, carrying endless power and pressure, making people feel fear. Wherever the bloody light went, the surrounding air became distorted, as if it could not withstand this powerful force. The black snake boss's body also became larger under the blood light, and his originally ferocious face now looked even more eerie and terrifying, making people shudder. Its eyes shone with scarlet light, as hot as burning flames. We have entered the second stage. All tanks have to use shields. Try to let the boss take as little blood as possible. The boss has 30% of the life-stealing power. Assassins can be seriously injured and suppress blood regeneration. Hold it, the bloodthirsty effect only lasts for 1 minute. The two groups have a clear division of labor. Faced with such a situation, he seemed extremely calm. As long as it survives this wave of outbreaks, the black snake boss will be just a lamb to be slaughtered. According to past practice, the black snake boss will attack the nearest person crazily. That is the front row of tanks they arrange. But the black snake boss did not do this time. He turned a blind eye to the people on both sides. He rushed toward the audience in the distance. His eyes flashed with deep hatred. It's as if there is some sworn enemy over there. Such sudden changes. Everyone in the two adventure groups was stunned. They come here every day to brush the black snake boss. He knows the boss's actions and mechanisms very well. This has never happened before. After the violent equipment was shot out, they actually ignored the people nearby and rushed out. What's going on? Why did the boss run away? I don't know either. Chase. At this moment, more than 2 adventure groups were confused. There are also melon-eating people. They were just looking at it. Why did the boss turn around and rush towards this direction? Without a reasonable team configuration, ordinary players do not have the strength to challenge the boss alone. The crowd dispersed quickly. Only one person stayed where he was, looking at the incoming boss with some dumbfounding. What is this? Does wealth fall from the sky? I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.